Do you feel resistance coming up when you're thinking about tracking your expenses? Do you avoid digging deep into your numbers because you're afraid of knowing how much you spend? Well, today I want to share with you one way to think about your money that will ease you into the process of looking at your finances and your expenses. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Thrive and Guard podcast. I'm Veena. I believe that you can have a career break without breaking the bank or killing your career. I'm here to support you in designing your ideal career break for your sustained career health.
Hey, how's your week been? I've been planning for a trip. I've been racking up expenses while booking accommodations and tours. I've been spending the early part of my career break really nesting, so I'm just starting to get psyched up to travel again. Can you relate? What does an ideal career break look like to you? Is it a time for you to dive deeper into your hobbies? Is it a time of rest and rejuvenation? Is it a time where you reinvent yourself? Is it a time where you spend time with your loved ones? However it looks like to you, I'm sure it's going to be a lot less stressful for you if you're financially prepared before going on a career break. That was one of the biggest mistakes that I made during my first career break. I left my job, had this vague idea to travel, didn't know how much it was going to cost or where I was going to go. Surprise, surprise, I was gripped by money anxieties throughout my whole career break, and I went back to work prematurely before I felt ready to. But that's okay. It's all part of the Thrive test drive, where we conduct life experiments so that we constantly refine the masterpiece of our lives, which is a life that we desire. Fast forward to today, I managed to plan for this time in my life where I can take a break without the pressure of going back to work. This time, a career break feels peaceful, calm, and full of possibilities. To be financially prepared for a career break, we need to start from the very beginning, which is how much our current expenses are. But what do you do if you feel a strong resistance in checking how much your expenses are? Today's podcast is the second of a 3-part introductory series about how you can prepare yourself financially for a career break. In last week's episode, we covered the steps that you can take, especially if a career break is something that you embarked on abruptly. Today's episode centers how you can think about your money in a way that helps you to feel at ease looking at your numbers. And next week, we'll be talking about how we can dive deep into our numbers, looking at the nuts and bolts. Okay, for some of you, you already know your numbers. But I'm thinking about some of us who have a fear of knowing how much we're spending. I get how we land here. After all, when you're in a steady job, it insulates you from knowing how much you spend because next month, the money will come in again to support our lifestyle. And if that's you too, you don't have to feel any guilt and shame because we all start somewhere. And we can start today. I'm going to share with you a thought trick that can help you feel more comfortable in your relationship with money. Our metaphors about money affects our relationship with it. For some of us who avoid looking at our numbers, it might be because we have an association with money that might not be serving us. One of the participants in my personal finance workshops shared with me her metaphor of money. Money for her are like dates who eventually ghost her. So you can see where this is going. And for her, money is something that disappears and is impermanent. Now, if you have a painful relationship with money, it's going to affect how you feel when you're looking at trying to track your expenses. Now, previously, I created a video centered on tips on how we can improve our relationship with money. And I offered the metaphor of money being an employee or a co-worker who's helping me to create the masterpiece of my life. I think of money as something that serves to take care of me and my loved ones, and in return, I want to take care of my money. I recently thought of a new metaphor that I want to share with you that would 10x the positive emotions that you will get in your relationship with money. You ready? I would like you to think of money as your fans. Yes, your fans. Your fans who desire to give you what you want. As I said, our lives are a living piece of art, and your money is there as your fans to support you in creating this masterpiece. This metaphor was inspired during a concert that I went to. It was so amazing to see how many fans turn out from all over the region to support this artist. Like, the energy of the stadium was electrifying. Everyone is congregating together in that stadium to support the artist. Everyone was pumped up. The experience together, the artist and all her fans, it was such a thrill. And I want you to bring that emotion when you're bringing together money in one place. And what do I mean? Think about the expense sheet as the stadium. And you're just gathering all your money, your fans, all into the one place. So instead of thinking about money disappearing, think about it as the money that you're gathering. And you tally up all your expenses and you look at the resulting figure. These are the number of fans who were happy to have been spent to get you the life that you want. Feel good about that instead of feeling guilt or shame, because you can always redecide. Maybe you want to redecide that you want fans in different venues. Some are going to be in the spending stadium, some are going to be in the savings stadium, and some others are going to be the investment stadium. Maybe you decide that you are going to be more intentional about which areas of well-being you really want to work on and where your fans can be deployed to give you the best life experience. Gathering your money into that expense sheet or knowing how much fans you have in that spending stadium is just the first step, and a very brave first step. It's really important to know how to gather our money together in one place, because our money leaks out in various channels. Sometimes money leaks out through digital payment systems like Venmo or Grab or our digital wallets. It's just important to keep track of where our fans are so that they can serve us better and we can take care of them too. I can relate to the feeling of wanting to avoid how much we spend, and we think that that is easier than tallying up our expenses. Perhaps we're afraid of feeling the guilt that comes when we know that we have overspent. Or it could be that you already feel very overwhelmed in different areas of your life, and looking at your numbers can feel quite intimidating and time-consuming. I think we have to link it back to our big why. If a career break is something that you want, a career break that is not so full of financial anxieties, then tallying up your expenses today is a brave, courageous first step. I offer to you this metaphor of money as your fans, and I hope that it jumpstarts other more positive metaphors for you so that you develop a positive relationship with money and you feel at ease trying to track things like your expenses or your savings or your investments in the future to be able to help you to finance a career break that you would love. Once you have developed a positive mindset around money, next week we'll be ready to look at the nuts and bolts. We're going down to your numbers, we're going to look at the categories so that you will know how much you're currently spending. That will be super useful as a start to figuring out how to finance your ideal career break. So do join me. Hey, thanks for staying till the end. If you know of someone who's also contemplating a career break, do share this podcast with them. Subscribe, leave a rating or a review so that more people can find this podcast to help them to design a career break that they would love. Always rooting for you.